Hi guys, my name is Katie Putman. I'm 17 years old and welcome back to Stop Bullying. Today, my main subject is going to be about cyberbullying. And if any of you guys have seen my last video, I have one comment from somebody that I used to go to school with in Oregon. His name is Christopher Vandermeen. The reason why I could say his name is because he did comment and his YouTube channel has his full name on it. And he had said, hold on, let me go back and read it back to you guys. He said, and I will censor it, he says, "You are a pathological liar. You need to get your story straight. No one listens to these stories because I have never been anorexic, so I need to stop. Again, I am a liar and should never make YouTube videos ever again." And he also says that we know the real stories because we went to school with her. I'm guessing that he took it upon himself to say that everybody in the school is saying this as well, which that is perfectly okay with me. And I would like to put it out there, I have my beautiful mom with me here. She doesn't want to come on camera because she doesn't even let me take pictures of her. But her name is Edith Putman, and you can go on her Facebook page. You can find her from my Facebook page, which I will put in the link below. And she can attest to that. I did have anorexia, and I did have to see a counselor for my weight, and they did assign me a certain diet so that I could gain weight again. And again, she will not go on video, but you can hear some words from her. Mom, why don't you go ahead and say what you have to say?
Yes, she saw a counselor about her weight.
That's all she wants to say on the matter. So yes, I did see a counselor about my weight because I weighed too little, and she realized that I was not eating. So that's my, that's just from my personal thing from what went on today. And I would also like to say that it also followed me onto Facebook. I cannot say who it was from because he did not want me to disclose his name, but I can say that he kept on going with saying that what I had said about the girl Casey was wrong. And that is okay too. And I'm going to get off that subject, but I would like to continue on the subject of cyberbullying.
And still they keep on bullying.
And still they keep on bullying, even though I don't live anywhere near them.
Yeah, 3,000 miles away.
As my mom just said, we live 3,000 miles away from them. They are in Oregon, I am in Florida. But cyberbullying. Back when I was younger, the internet wasn't such a big thing yet, and, Facebook wasn't really there yet. There was MySpace, but nobody really went on there all that too often. And so, it's still mostly centered around the schools, but once I started to go into middle school, at least, that's when Facebook and everything started to become really popular. And, so it wasn't just at schools anymore, it was also online. So it is very, very hard to escape from being bullied. The only advice that I can give to parents and kids is if you are still being bullied from school to online, the best that you can do is first ask them to stop. If they do not proceed to stop, at least online, I suggest that you block them. And parents, I know that a lot of kids do not agree with this, even though I'm not too comfortable with it myself, because I do believe that is an invasion of privacy, but keep a close eye on what your children are going on. Make sure that you know their usernames and their passwords. Not for everything, but for the things that can follow them for bullying, like Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, as you just saw. Make sure that you know these things so that you can keep a track of it and control it, because it is your own home, and even though it's not necessarily your internet, you still have the power to slow it down or even to stop it, as long as you keep an eye on what is going on. And there is also this thing called harassment, and there's also a thing called internet harassment, where the kids can still get in trouble for continuing it at school if, the parents talk to the other parents and say that it needs to stop, or if the kid shows the other kid that, you know, to stop bullying him. They can file for harassment. That is extremely, extremely rare circumstances. That is only for when it gets truly, truly, really, really bad. Or if a person has more psychological reasons. I myself have psychological problems. I do suffer from depression and anxiety, so I do take medicine for that, so that can make bullying a lot worse. I can contest to that because I used to cut myself. I still have the scars on my arms. You guys cannot see them, but on my Facebook page, if you guys like, I can take a picture of my arms and put them up there. And I also had this friend that I met in high school in Oregon, and I cannot say her name, but she had a lot of family problems. She had a lot of psychological problems. You know, she had a lot of chemical imbalances, depression, bipolar, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, sometimes she wouldn't take her meds because, you know, when you're that young, you know, you kind of depend on your parents a little bit to remind you to take those pills. Not saying that you should, you know, try to take control of it yourself. And that's what she did, and as I said, she had family problems, so they were not as attentive as they should have been, so she did not take her pills every day. So some days were worse than others, and she got bullied a lot. She went into the psych wards a lot to get reevaluated. You know, she got Baker acted and everything else. I myself have been Baker acted for 24 hours because I had to go to the hospital because I kept on bleeding. And that's how she was. Well, I kept it here on my wrist. She went from here all the way up here, and from her hips all the way down to her ankle. She would write her friends' names into her leg. I think she has my name in her leg. I am not sure. But, you know, and it was so bad that you could hardly recognize her arms. And that's because, you know, she didn't have a strong family that stood behind her, sorry. And, you know, she had psychological problems, and it followed her home. She was even bullied at home, and while at school I tried to protect her. I even got suspended because I threw a water bottle at a girl and I chipped her tooth. But, you know, I couldn't really protect her at home. Sometimes she would stay at my house for a couple days until, you know, the police would go to her house and, you know, kind of get her parents resituated. And she usually went from friend's house to friend's house. But that is because of cyberbullying and bullying in general. I mean, it's really bad. I had major psychological problems because it started so early for me. I started taking depression and anti-anxiety when I was in 6th grade, and in 7th grade I had developed insomnia because my anxiety was so bad that I wouldn't be able to go to sleep, or I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming. So I had to start taking sleeping medicines to help that go away. So parents, if your kids are having problems, if you see them eating less, you know, you don't see them getting into the activities that they used to do, if you just see them reading or watching or listening to something over and over and over again, that may be an early sign of depression. So parents, if you see this, sit down and talk to your kids. They're not going to want to talk about it. In fact, they might even get mad that you want to talk about it, but you still got to do it. You got to sit down, you got to talk to them, and you have to get them help. And kids, I know you believe that your parents will not listen, but most of the time they will listen. If you say that you have these problems, even if they don't do anything about it right away, once you say something like this, it's going to come to their attention, and they're going to start, you know, watching you more often, and sooner or later they're going to see the changes for themselves and get you help. You know, see a counselor. And I know that schools provide counselors, that you do not have to pay for, but if you have to get meds, then you do have to see a psychologist, which is kind of a counselor, but they are more there to give you a prescription for whatever it is that you are having problems with. I will be posting my Facebook page, which is my personal Facebook page, and my email, again, in the description below, so that this can be spread out. And I'm sorry this video is really long today, but please share it, please email me your stories, please leave comments below, let me know what you think, and stop bullying.